In this short video, I'm going to show you how to export your pattern swatches from the exercise file into your final illustration artboard. So this is my demo file that I showed you guys. What I'm going to do is take these pattern swatches that were built and export them to an AI file that I can then re-import into my final illustration board. So you're going to need to get out your swatches panel, which is right here. If you don't find it, you're going to go to Window and down to Swatches. The check mark means that panel is already open. Next, you're going to go to the flyout menu. Whenever I say flyout menu, I'm referring to this multi-line on the right-hand side of each panel. When you click on it, it brings up additional options. And I'm going to go down to Save Swatch Library as AI, an AI file, Adobe Illustrator. And the reason I can export it as an AI file is because the file I'm going to be importing it into is an AI file because we're doing the illustration in Adobe Illustrator. If it was a Photoshop or an InDesign file I wanted to import the swatches to, I would have to save it as an ASE or an Adobe Swatch Exchange file. Okay, so I'm going to, now it's going to be called Pattern Quilt AI, and remember to put it in your project folder, not the desktop. And so I'm going to go find my project for pattern illustration, and I'm going to save it here. Next, once it's saved, I'm going to go over to my illustration artboard, and I'm going to bring it into this file. So again, you're going to need your swatches panel, go to the flyout menu and say Open Swatch Library. Okay, now I have already opened this, so it's right here. But for those of you who have not imported it yet, you're going to go to Other Library. And again, you're going to navigate to the folder where you saved the swatches file, Pattern Quilt AI, and I'm going to open it. Okay. And here is the Pattern Quilt swatches file that I just imported. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to do is we're going to take those swatches and import them into our main swatches panel, because as you'll see, we have two separate swatch panels now. So I'm going to shift click on all of my patterns, and I'm going to go to Add to Swatches, and it's going to move them from here to here. And the reason I do that is because everything is more compact and less confusing. And so now I can close this out. The next thing that we're going to want to do is import our color theme. I'm going to show you that real quick. And by the way, you'll notice that my swatches panel is looking pretty thin right here. And the reason is I actually, before I started any of this, I went in and said, delete all unused. I'm sorry, select all unused right here. And when you do that, it selects all swatches that have not yet been used, and then I deleted them because I wanted to declutter my swatches panel. That should have actually been the first step I showed you. But just keep that in mind. So now here's my pattern swatches, and the next thing I want to do is investigate some possible color themes. Now you may have already done this, and you preferably you have already done this in your first round with these when you actually created your patterns. But if you don't really have any kind of a color theme going on, now's the time to change it, and it's really easy to do that. So I'm going to go with earth tones. Well, wait a minute, let's see here. Nature. I'm going to actually go with nature and flowers because mine is kind of an outdoorsy picture of a house and flowers and the sun and the sky. So I'm going to select this, and again, I got there from the swatches panel. Okay, so here we go. Let's do that again. Flyout menu, open swatch library, and there's a whole bunch of different libraries in here that you can kind of play around with and look at. But I'm going to go down to nature and flowers. And it gives you a series of different types of pattern or color themes. I chose this one. So again, I'm going to shift click on this folder and I'm going to say add to swatches. And now I have my colors. And now I'm going to show you how you can quickly change your colors. So I'm going to select one of my patterns. Let's say, oh, I'll just click on this one for the heck of it. And I'm going to double click on that pattern to bring it up in my pattern editing mode. And you'll notice if I click here, and here I'm just going to say Command A to select all of those pieces. And I can easily come in here. So I'll change it to orange. And from my color theme, I'm going to click the color that I want to change it to and then say save or done. And I've now changed the color of that pattern swatch. So it's very easy to change them. And then I can go ahead and start coloring.